And so again, I'll just reiterate Beth's request that we usually have one board member on those panels. And so let her know if you're interested. If more than one of you are interested, she'll have to flip a coin or figure out a tiebreaker of some sort. So, but thank you for responding to the doodle poll for a special board meeting. We were able to pin down one, April 18th. And I put a calendar document in front of you. It's actually on there. And it says 5:30 to 7:30 is what we've set aside for school board candidate interviews, much like you did when Kalia was a candidate. And so I have more if you are missing.
I didn't get mine.
Okay.
Sorry.
Um,
Thank you.
so
Do you need
save the date. No, I've got extras.
Okay.
What? This says.
Yeah, so we'll kick off at 5:30, depending on the application screening that you complete. I know last time we talked about this, the board asked if we could provide applications electronically so that you could review those and score them independently, and then we would have you come together and decide who to interview. The last time, we just decided to interview everybody who applied. And so I would share with the audience too that if you know of folks that live in the Tumwater High or Peter G area that are willing and interested in serving as a school board member, please get the word out for us.
It's so much fun. It is. It's a lot of fun.
Let's see. Oh, I also included, I think it's in your packet, or is it loose? The Student Learning Board.
Yes.
It's there.
This one.
Okay. Yeah, there's a page. Melissa met recently with our student learning supervisors, and they shared with Chris Wood's departure, we had to figure out, okay, so who's on first with the different functions in student learning. So you'll see the three of them and a matrix there along with myself and some others picking up duties as the work comes in between now and July 1. So that's the plan, and Melissa suggested all of you see that, so I brought copies. I want to remind the board, particularly Melissa, that we will need to put on the agenda the election of officers again, because we have a board vacancy due to Mr. Wood's recent announcement that at the end of April he will call it quits after many, many years. So typically there's some discussion among board members about that, and that's why I want to make sure I keep it on your radar.
Thank you.
We had one student board rep here tonight. Thank you for coming. I did let the board know that we will have a change in the secondary options student board rep, and given the spring rush of things, Dave is going to begin recruiting and working with students for the next school year, because the May 9th meeting is our last student board rep meeting. And so we'll finish the year with our 2, and then try to get back to 3 for the October meeting in 2020. And I'll pass that along to Sean Dotson.
2019.
Excuse me, 2019, thank you.
Yeah. He's thinking about band.
Yes.
Yeah.
While we didn't have a prompt scheduled for May, I'm going to propose this one with our student board rep here, and that is, in recent weeks, and I would say over the last 2 years, we've occasionally had incidents occur in our schools that raises the question, how inclusive and welcoming are each of our schools when it comes to differences between students, cultural differences, racial differences, gender identity differences, all of the above. And so the question I'd like our students to inquire with their peers about is, what are we doing at our school that is encouraging that, is promoting that, and what could we be doing at our school to make it even more welcoming for students who may not identify as majority students, or may not feel as welcomed or included as they would like to be. And I know in some of our high schools we actually have clubs and groups that focus on that, so that might be a place to start the inquiry process. But Our board recently passed a policy that really sends a message system-wide that that's very, very important to us in Tumwater. And so I thought it'd be important in our last meeting to finish the year with a student voice around that issue. So unless you disagree, I took the liberty of picking
No,
one.
that's great.
All right. And I'll get that out in writing too, because that was a lot of words.
Yeah.
I want to introduce you to Aaron Ziegler, who's behind the camera. He's from Whitecap Media. The board asked me to make arrangements to have these board meetings recorded on video and audio. I mentioned to you at the last meeting that we had to delay that to make sure we could meet the ADA accessibility requirements. I want to thank Lori Wiedenmeyer for making sure we checked all the boxes, and Aaron for letting us know he could make all that happen for us. So welcome, Aaron, and thank you so much for your technology support. And the way this will go is Aaron will record tonight. He'll take his equipment and prepare for us what we need to post the video to our website in the same general section of our website where you can find the school board minutes.
You're gonna caption it and all that stuff. Yep, awesome.
Our annual community summit with the city of Tumwater and Together is scheduled for May 1st this year at Tumwater Middle School. And our focus this year will be on homeless youth and families. And the focus this year is on how can we as a community, not just a school district, come together to accomplish two things. One would be develop a safety net that would prevent homelessness. So oftentimes families are one unpaid bill away from being evicted, or facing a car that's broken down and now they got to make a choice to pay the rent or fix the car, those kinds of things. So much like our community schools model, is there a community collective impact model that we can come together around and address that. The second goal is for families that are already homeless, especially families with youth. What could Tumwater do as a community to come together as a collection of entities, faith-based organizations, the school district, the city, United Way, and the Cielo Family Support Center, and we could keep going because we all know that we have a number of like-minded groups and individuals in our community that want to help. So the whole point here behind a summit is how do we begin to connect those things and coordinate it? So beginning at 5 o'clock p.m. we'll do a meal again, and there will be an introduction section and then 3 breakout sections along with a closing session like we did last year. And the goal would be that we walk out with some action steps that we'll take rather than just pat each other on the back and say, boy, wasn't that a nice talk. And on May 7th, you have a save the date card in your binder for the celebration to honor Janine Ward and Jay Wood for their many years of service as school board members. We're going to host that at Toyota of Olympia starting at 4 o'clock p.m. We have secured the marimba band from Tumwater Hill Elementary to perform at 4:45, and there will be a cameo appearance with the general manager there, and I'm going to try and rip off a fiddle tune with my friend Joe McCorkle, and I'm a little rusty, so I got to practice. But we'll do that, and then there will be a brief program at 5 o'clock recognizing Janine and Jay, followed by an open mic opportunity for anybody that wants to say anything. And for those that only have time to do a drop-in, feel free to drop in on both sides of that window. And again, I just call your attention to the school board calendar. I put a hard copy for you out there, and that's what I have unless you have questions.
That's it. If not, we're gonna go into board comments.